Morning, Pioneers. This is MJ, KK613.14. Back at you again one more time. Pi, through my eyes. The way I see it. Come to understand it. Why I'm doing this one should be quick, I hope. I hope. I was just responding to a comment that I got off of one of the videos. And it just says, pi, 1 pi equals 1,000. And I responded to it. Yeah. And as I was responding to it, came up with putting out this video. And if you read my response, I stated that I'm going to take a wild guess that whoever posted the comment is either from China or from the Asian realm. Yeah. Because with that being said, I also stated that there should be an unofficial behind it, because pi has no official value currently at this point. Not until we reach phase 3. And then pi can have an official value. Well, it will have an official value. Official value, official price. I've done a few videos on the difference between price and value and how it's set and all that. But as I was responding to that comment, a couple of things came to mind. A couple of things stood out that why I'm doing this one. Because even though I know people here in the United States, in the West, that know crypto or not, say no way, it can't happen. It just doesn't. There's no way. There is no way possible that pi can have a value of $1,000 per pi. Well, that's where you're wrong, because China's doing it. Whether it's a legit pi project, or pi project, or if it's a copycat, I don't know. But I mean, if you follow the money, follow the pi, they are making trades, and they are buying big ticket items with pi at $1,000. Like I said, there's been a lot of copycats come out of China. There's been a lot of stuff pi that isn't related to this project that has come from China. Early on in pi, China was the first country that I dealt with in pi, and Chinese people are awesome. Chinese people are awesome. They are. The situation in which they live, they have it hard. And I don't want to get into the politics and the government and all that. That's where I think China gets a bad rap. And I've said early on, if pi is going to succeed, pi, us, and the Chinese need to form a partnership and work together. But that's the only way pi is going to succeed. And it shows. It shows. Because it's not hype. Whatever is going on over there, for that, it's not hype as far as what they got going. Now, it's not reality here, because pi has no official value. So, but they get it. They understand it. They understand what pi is. They understand what pi can do. And they're doing it. They're making it happen. Official or not official, they're making it happen. And us here in the West are slow on the uptake, man. We are slow on the uptake. Because, as I stated in the response, can't get the majority of people that are in pi now, the pioneers that are in pi now, to see pi even at $1. No, because there's still a lot, and too many, posting pi at pennies. And pi will not succeed at pennies. Pi will, Pi will not succeed. They just will throw it in the shitter because you're going to kill Pi. That thinking and that mentality will kill Pi before it even has a chance to get off the ground. Yes. And why? Look at it, man. Pi is, I haven't heard an official announcement yet, but we have to be close to 30 million people. I mean, it's been, the last official announcement at 25 was a month ago. Pi's growing faster than that. So we have to be close to 30 million people. And if Pi starts at what you're saying it's going to start at, what you crypto traders are starting at, you experts are starting at, you will kill Pi. Because you will cut half the community out of being able to do anything. They won't even be able to trade on the exchange. Yeah. They won't have enough Pi to trade on the exchange. If Pi starts down at a dime, 20 cents, 25 cents, where all you speculators are speculating at that, if somebody has 100 Pi, they have what? $1? It's going to cost more in fees to be able to make that. And those are the ones that are all anxious to sell. Then they're in for a rude awakening when, even if Pi does list. They're not going to let them trade for 100 Pi. Ain't going to happen. You know, that's the reality of the situation. You ought to be talking that too. Yeah, no, I get upset because I'm passionate about Pi. And what you're not the one that's understanding. Pi isn't what you're used to dealing with, what you're used to pump and dumping on the exchange. You know, I heard just the other day, yesterday, the day before, in a year's time, there has been 2,000 coins, crypto coins, enter the market. I don't know how many have survived. I don't know how many. Okay, I got it from a reliable source. I don't want to. Anyway, I believe the source of the information is reliable, and I'm going to take them on that. And it doesn't surprise me just how many coins have cropped up because Pi isn't launching fast enough. People are creating their own coins. Yeah, I don't know. I know of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's probably close to 10 not coins from Pi, but pioneers in Pi that, for whatever, have gone off and started their own coins to whatever. Either so they can start trading, they start doing whatever. I mean, that's why I've stayed out of all of the unofficial economies and unofficial sites and all the stuff that has come up around Pi. Because I don't know whether it's all on the up and up. I don't. And I hope it is. And I wish y'all well. And I hope you guys are doing things on the up and up. You know? And I know a lot of the people. I know a lot of the pioneers. I've come and I trust them like brothers and sisters. And you know, like I say, I hope you guys are doing everything on the up and up. And as we go transfer into phase 3, when we claim our accounts, that things are cool. I hate to see you lose it over whatever. And I know a lot of it is, you know, friction between core and these people and whatever it is, you know, core's not, it's a whole mindset, a whole attitude. It's okay. And I'm not saying that I haven't had my frustrations, because I have. But I've also come to realize this is Core's project. Core is doing things. Core, believe it or not, even though a lot of people don't agree, a lot of people are anxious, a lot of people are antsy about Pi's got to release, Pi's got to release, Pi's got to release. No, Pi shouldn't release until it is 100% guaranteed ready to hit the market running, ready to hit the public running. And part of Pi hitting the public running is getting and understanding what Pi is. Because if you understood what Pi is, you wouldn't be so antsy about getting Pi out on the market. Yes, I know Pi needs to go on the market. As soon as it is able and possible to put Pi on the market, it should go on the market. But if it's not ready, because we only get one shot at this, folks. If it when Core and us launch Pi Phase 3, if it's not ready to go Phase 3, we don't get another shot. This is no game. We're not earning points. We're earning money. The money. Yeah. You know, everybody, we have become a society that quick gratification. I want it now, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to bitch about it. Man. That kind of thing, for Pi, that kind of thing needs to change. That is a wrong mindset. Yeah, and I was there. And I've been there over time. I mean, certain things crop up. I have markers for me too. And if it's not in line with what I'm thinking, yeah, I guess, yeah, you know, and it got to a point to where I was buying into all the other hype that was going on. Just not too long ago, probably less than 2 months ago, I found out some stuff, or I heard some stuff, and that pushed me over the edge. Yeah, I gave up my badge. Yeah. Okay? Because of things that weren't going the way I thought they were going to go or should have gone. Luckily, I have some good friends that stopped me. Made me see where things brought me back to reality. Brought me back to where things were at. Okay? That's what, and it's the whole thing that I went through helped me see things a little deeper, a little different understanding, a little different, whatever. Yeah. And China, the Pi pioneers in China, kudos, man. Kudos. Because you see it. You understand it. You're using it. I mean, China, even though we're all in financial trouble, I mean, government's in financial trouble, we're struggling to get by, we're doing whatever. But China is years ahead of us in the United States. Years, as far as it goes with digital currency. Yes. In less than 5 years, China has gone totally paperless. They don't carry any cash. They don't carry any coins. They don't carry any paper. They don't do anything. They do it all off their phones. Every transaction, every business transaction they do, no matter how big or how small, is done on their phone, digitally, in less than 5 years. Just like kudos, because they understand the technology. They understand how to use the technology. Even shop owner, I mean, you know, with the technology, they are light years ahead of most of us. I mean, China has convenience stores or mini marts or whatever in your country that you use, quick stop, gas stations, whatever, to go do, you know, that are, basically there's no human interaction, you know. I'm not sure whether I agree with the technology on how, you know, the face recognition and all that, because they are spied on every day. They are under a microscope every day. I don't know whether I could live like that. But they've lived with it. They've learned to live with it, adjust with it. They speak out, whatever. But they can walk into a convenience store. I mean, we should look up at the camera, they face, okay? Get their items. There isn't even a checker there. You know, their items, and go through, you know, I don't know how it all works. I've never been there, but someday maybe I'd like to go there. They go through the checkout, and there's no person there. And they whether they scan it before it gets to the register, or they do their own whatever and use their phone, QR code. This is the deal, and they walk out. I don't know of any other place in the world that does that. And it, yeah, research anything on China, yeah. And so, because I hear, I mean, listening to all sides, both sides, then okay. And when I hear the crypto traders from the United States, from the West, holding Pi down, because you're holding Pi back, and you know, you can't. There's something about, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, other than my opinion in it. It's driven by greed to start with. It's driven by selfishness to start with, because you're only thinking about, anybody that is holding Pi to pennies is only thinking about themselves and trying to get as much Pi as they can, to get as big a stack as they can, so they can be top on the heap. Just trying to get to the top of the heap, and you'll screw anybody else to do it, because by that thinking, you're trying to convince people that don't know the space, don't know crypto, don't know Pi, don't know, okay, that this is how it operates. And people are already looking to sell for pennies because of what they know, what they think they know, what they've learned, what they've heard, and it's been a constant battle in Pi. It's been a constant battle in Pi. Because of whatever. Pi's not about me. It's another change in Pi. Now this is a radical shift in thinking. Some people say maybe going backwards. No, it's not. It's about thinking about others. We are a community. And the concept of, to me, what I think the Pi community is family. Yeah, we are family. We should be family. We should have each other's backs, good and bad. We should be watching out for the ones that don't know, teaching them so they get up to speed, so they don't make bad decisions. Pi is built on trust. The security circles are the foundation of Pi security. Yes. Security circles are supposed to be built from people that we personally know and trust. And the way it was put to me early on in Pi, the trust level that we have in the people that we have in our security circles is, we would let them in our car without even thinking about it. We would have them house sit for us when we went on vacation for a week or whatever. We would have them watch our kids, take them to and pick them up from school, or we take them to school, and because we're working or whatever we're doing, that they are willing to pick, we would turn our kids over to them. And some of the kids you have, I understand why. And sorry about that, but it's true. But I don't know of too many parents that would allow somebody to pick their kids up from school, watch them for an hour or two until you got off work, and then you went by and picked them up. I don't know if too many people would do that, especially in this day and age. That's the level of trust that's supposed to be in our security circle. And my five, I trust. And I trust, we've gotten to know each other, and I trust you, so I should trust your five. That's how Pi is built, on trust. First line. I'm vouching for the five of my security circles. They're not going to do something stupid. They're not going to try to hack the network. They're going to, we're friends, man. We've had each other's backs for a long time. That's Pi community. And we're not. I don't think we're close. It's getting better as it kind of as we go, is what I'm seeing, especially over the last month or so. The talking chats is a little different, but the majority is still looking at Pi getting its price from the exchange before we can do anything. And if Pi goes that way, Pi's another shitcoin. You've turned Pi into another shitcoin. You missed it in Bitcoin and you fucked this one up. Yeah, that's how upset I get. Yeah, because it's the truth. It's the truth. Because you won't open your mind. China has. I know where the $1,000 Pi came from. I know. I've researched some of it. Not some of it. Yeah, not like I did 2 years ago. 2 years ago I'd be up in the middle of it. Now I just kind of skirt the edges just to get enough to see what's going on. Yeah, like I say, There's a lot of copycats, a lot of scams, a lot of stuff coming out of China. But there's also a big pioneer community in China doing the right thing. Yeah. Yeah. I know, and if it's the same Pi Mall that's going on over there, yeah. They have people that are in the in-app transfer set it up on a I just lost the word. Backer system. Yeah. There are some whales in the in-app transfer out of China that are running a backer system to be able to support that $1,000 of Pi. Or that value, the $1,000 value of Pi. Because if you think about it, just at $1, you're selling a $20 item. And let's say you're selling a $1,000 item, because now it'll be way out of it, okay? At $1, it's going to be 1,000 Pi. The majority of pioneers don't have 1,000 Pi. They can't even, for $1, they can't even compete. And with what they have, even if they have $100, yeah, they might be able to trade on the exchange for $100. But it's going to cost them more in fee. They're going to end up with what, $80? When that's just, trading on the exchange is no different than the system that we're in today. The exchanges are middlemen. They're in it for profit. That's the only reason they're doing what they're doing. So, why would you want to give up money out of your pocket to be in the same system when there's no need for it? Trading peer-to-peer doesn't cost us anything. Yes, we may have shipping and all that stuff coming, but that's a normal thing of doing business. Selling goods. That's just normal business. I mean, it happens, that we can't get around. We won't be able to get around. Now, if we have entrepreneurs in Pi that are ready to go into the shipping business, there's a big opportunity for somebody to become wealthy. Oh, somebody opening up a shipping business inside a Pi community, you can write your own ticket, man. You can write your own ticket. Because there is nobody else. And Pi needs it. That is a need. We find a solution. Whoever finds that solution or is stepping up and taking care of and working on that solution, yeah, will be one of the big boys in Pi. Guaranteed. Because we're already stretched around the world. We need to be able to move stuff around the world. Yeah. If you got a trucking company, if you got something, you got some way to move stuff across oceans, you'll become wealthy. Almost overnight, probably. Yeah. But see, people are so on the exchange. The only way you can do it is on the exchange. Because that's how Bitcoin did it. Pi's going to go to $60,000. No, Pi will never get there. I will be surprised if Pi gets to $1,000. I believe it can. But to see double digits, no. If Pi gets to 10 grand, I would be real surprised. Because, man, starting to get at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, it's starting to get out of reach to people. They can't reach it. Pi's to be reachable. That's why, okay? That's why I believe Pi at $100 is a good place for Pi to enter the market. Because it covers everything that Pi needs. It covers everything that pioneers need. At $100 a Pi, that last person coming in can spend his one Pi and not get wiped out. And knowing he's going to get a little more, there's going to be a little more coming in tomorrow, so he's going to be able to recover what he spends today. It's also about living with inside your means. And Pi's not looking to take things over. I know I'm getting long and I'm, okay. Pi is looking to run parallel with whatever is out there. A supplement to. Yeah, Pi has not stated anywhere that it's going to make anybody wealthy. It's going to, whatever. You're going to be able to quit your job. You're going to be able to live on a boat. You're going to be able to go to the Bahamas and drink Mai Tais on the beach with naked ladies. No, Pi has never promised that. Never. Pi is really, Core and White has really said nothing about the future, our future in Pi. Because we're supposed to be adults. I mean, we're supposed to be able to critically think past, I mean, if you understand what is written, that has been written by doctors, PhDs, that think at a different level than most of us, okay? Yes, I'm not saying not smart, intelligent, and okay, and at the same, but if you were thinking at the same level that they are, you would understand pi and be able to read it, and understand it and see it. Yeah. Core are adults. They've been in the field that they've been in for a long time. They know their shit. You know, when I first got to Pi, and I was reading the white paper and whatever, Core was more we saw Core in chat more in the beginning. Because there was a lot going on, but there wasn't a lot going on. The community was smaller, and they didn't get bombarded. They didn't get bombarded with bullshit. You know, when Nicholas would come in to chat, or Vince would come in to chat, or whatever, and they didn't get bombarded with, when are we going to KYC? What's Pi value? When are we going to launch? When are we going to? No, they didn't get bombarded with that shit. They come in to chat today. That's what they get bombarded with. I wouldn't come in to chat either. But anyway, being able to talk to them back then, they would spend 30, 40, usually between 30 and 45 minutes, they would spend time in chat almost every night. Yeah, they were there. Over time, as things have grown in scale and whatever, yeah, they're busy as hell, man. Because I have my own opinion on Pi should have launched already. We screwed it up. They didn't screw it up. We screwed it up. So that's the whole different issue. But I watch when Nicholas does make an appearance in chat. Even CFAN came in chat back then. But when Nicholas comes in chat, man, he gets bombarded with bullshit questions that have no relativity at that point in time. None. Well, I wouldn't come in either. I really wouldn't. I'd be going about my business. And that's what they're doing. They're going about their business, working to get Pi to the end. And being able to ask Nicholas, or, make suggestions, do whatever. Yeah, I brought up, maybe we might think about dumbing the white paper down a little more, because people aren't getting it. And kind of the response I got, dumb it down some more. We've already dumbed it down as far as we can go, man. Yeah, I was told that. I was told that by Vince. He was like, what do you mean dumb it down? Okay, because people they're not seeing it, they're not understanding, they're not getting it. You need to go down another level. That's what I'm saying. It's written by adults, for adults. Money. Dealing with money. Okay? Well, if this is bad, then we need to step up on what we're seeing and what we're reading. And back in the beginning, we did. In chat, the pioneers at that time in chat talked about the white paper, tore the white paper apart. We would be going line by line. If somebody didn't understand what's going on, that's what we talked about in chat. Until we got it. So, I know I'm off, and I've gotten off, and I'm running a little longer than I wanted to on this. I was just going to make this one real short one. And it's still, we're still on some pretty shit. But that's what I'm talking about. China gets it. But the crypto traders today in the West have become so exchange oriented. So exchange, it's got to be this way. It's the only way it can be, because Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the other Dogecoin and all this other stuff that's come out, Dogecoin or whatever, that's come out, they've all gone the same way. Well, they've all gone the same way. But, I've always stopped, once I started to really grasp what was going on and the exchanges, how the exchanges work, and Pi, and how Pi works, and Stellar, and Ripple, and, some of these other ones. How many, I've asked myself, I'm curious, if 2,000 coins have come out in just this year, there's been thousands of coins that have come out after Bitcoin till this point in time. And I'm sure, I'd like, and nobody's ever run the statistic on it. I mean, how many coins have, or how many of these tokens, how many projects, how many projects have you guys killed? Not even giving them a chance to get off the ground. Because you killed them before they even got a chance to get started by running your pump and dump. I feel Pi is fortunate, and I'm thinking that we might be able to. We're at a point that we might be able to ride out a pump and dump. Yeah, maybe. But if we give up that much real estate, I don't think we'll ever get that much real estate back. Okay? Because it's just to go from $1 to a dime is a lot of real estate. To go from $10 to a dime is major. Going from $100 to a dime is critical. I think people are going to have a hard time buying $1,000. I can tell you right now, China's already going to be looking at $1,000. Pioneers from China are going to be looking for $1,000. They're not going to be selling for a dime, guaranteed. They'll be ready to buy at a dime, but they're not going to be selling at a dime. And the vultures on the other side that are looking to buy at a dime aren't going to pay $1,000. They're not going to pay $100. They're not going to pay $10. They're looking to get Pi for a dime. They've been pushing to get Pi for a dime. Yeah, they're vultures, man. They are vultures. And I'm curious of how many projects that they have killed before it even has a chance to get off the ground. I'm sure they made their money in that initial because they got it fast enough and it got it up quick enough that they could make their margin. Yeah. But within a short time, the coin died because it couldn't recover. It was already wiped out. Because once you have that initial dump, everything bought up, they control it and they drive that price up as fast as they can drive it up. If they drive that price up, they dump theirs and make their money, and they've made your profit, and they've killed the project. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks. Yeah, look at it seriously. Look at the whole mechanism of the pump and dump, and look at how many coins have died between the release of Bitcoin and now. There are probably thousands, tens of thousands of projects that got thrown in the waste can. And the ones that are struggling to survive are shit coins. Because that initial rush, that initial pump and dump, and that initial, because it's going to, here's how I understand the pump and dump and how these vultures on the other side work. Yeah, and I I'm back to a point, and I need to level out. I really do. Because it's not fair to everybody. Because not everybody on that side is a vulture. Now, are they going from greed, or are they going from what they think, what they know, or what they've come to know, come to learn, come to understand? Yes. And there are a lot of smart people, and when you're in the system, when the system is the way the system is, and you've learned to operate in that system, and you've learned how to make money in that system, that's what it is. So there are people who are just doing it out of what is natural, what is. But that's where I also have the issue that they're not open-minded enough to see something different, because they already know what is, and they already know what makes money, makes them money, that they made money, a lot of money off of, and they're not open to anything else. That's the only way that crypto can be. That's the only way crypto can be. But they also haven't stepped up and taken responsibility for the coins they've killed, because they don't think they've killed them. It's just the way it is. It's just the nature of the beast. Pumping them. It's just the nature of the beast. If it makes it, it makes it. If it don't, oh well, we'll move on to another coin. We know there's another coin coming up, and we'll jump on that one and go on that. Man, I know there's been a lot of coins that have come up while Pi's developing. There's been a lot of projects that have come up. Pioneers from Pi are in these, and they're still in Pi. They're mining and they're doing their thing, but they've got involved with other coins, and they're making money off of the other coins, doing what they normally do. Like I said before, the people who were here when I got here know the space. They are better than most of the crypto traders that are on YouTube today. Yeah, I watched a lot of the traders. I would follow the people that I know in here. Yeah, before I would take the advice of people on YouTube. Most of them. Now there's some good people out there, but what I know, yeah, because they know that. I mean, they're already ahead of you. They're already steps ahead of me, anticipating the game. Okay. So back to how I understand the pumping dump works. You have an initial coin offering, initial whatever, getting these coins out and whatever it is. They get the coins, and then after a short amount of time or whatever, they get a price high enough that it's worth something to somebody else, especially in third world countries. And they're counting on third world countries because third world countries will sell for pennies because pennies means a lot to them. When you start looking in the Asian realm and Africa, and I mean all of those countries, all those developing countries, third world developing countries. Yes, people at the bottom. Okay, my bottom is their upper, middle, or upper class. My bottom is I'm almost homeless, living on the street. That's a big deal. And I'm above that already because I have income coming in, a good chunk of income coming in. When a $2 pair of shoes or a $5 or $10 bicycle can mean life or death, I can't fathom that. I just jump in my car every day, even though I'm almost on the street. And there are days that I may have to go a day without eating. Yeah. And I know there are people here where I live that are in worse shape than I am. And it isn't all because of COVID, but COVID definitely didn't help. So I can imagine what COVID is doing over there. But when, like I say, a $2 or $5 pair of shoes or a $5 or $10 bike, or to even think about owning an automobile, man, that would, okay. So when they get the opportunity to sell and they can get a few bucks, they can get something, because something means something to them. Yeah, they're willing to sell. And the traders on the other side already know it. They know it. They've been doing it for 13 years. They already know the psychology. They know the mentality. They just have to get it high enough that they're able to trade it on the exchange. That's all it is. So these coins get to a point, and boom, they all dump. They're not. And the communities in these coins aren't anywhere near the size of Pi. So you get that initial dump. Vulture's on the other side. They're waiting. They're salivating. They are salivating, waiting for that dump to happen. They're antsy. I got to experience it here. At the start of the in-app transfer, the community was in the same position as, basically, it was a dry run for launch. Guaranteed. It was a dry run for launch, and it didn't come out the way we expected. So, the dump happens. Investors and all this stuff pick up whatever they can for the cheap. And then, once all of that dust settles, they hold back. They don't allow, they have all the coin. They're not putting any more on the market. They're not putting it on the market. They're not putting it up. How do you think the price goes up? Demand. Because the frenzies happen. Because when people can see it volatile and doing its thing and whatever, okay, people jump on board quick. And then all of a sudden, they pull it back. Well, demand goes up. Price goes up. When price gets high enough, then they start trading again. And because it's a speculative market, they have speculated on us. Like, say I'm a dumper. Then they've speculated on us wanting to rebuy because we're seeing the price go out. And we're looking to figure out when's the best time for us to buy. And we're speculating that it's going to go higher and somebody's going to buy it at a higher price than what we paid for it. They already know all that bullshit, man. And they've made their margin, and they've never touched their stack. They have done it all off of what that initial dump happened. and it's made them rich, and they still have their stack. Yeah, that's how the system works. If the coin survives long enough, they can do that multiple times because they are in control. They are the whales. That's why people talk about whales controlling or influencing, because they do. They play the game. They get us suckered into playing the game. Yeah, if you don't want to be a sucker, don't play. Because you have to be real smart to beat these guys at their game. I know. I'm not smart. Because if you miss time, if you miss us on the dump and all that, we will. For us to make money in crypto is tough. Because if you miss that opportunity by just a sliver, you've just lost money. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because timing is everything. Timing is everything. And these guys, watching my buddy, when Bitcoin was really first getting active, watching him trade on the exchanges, watching him trade in the exchange, watching him get into other coins, trading other coins on the exchange, yeah, it wasn't hard to figure the system out. Yeah. And man, he had 3 phones with 3 different things going on. And he was never away from his phone, especially when things were starting to come into play. He would tell me, dude, I need to go take a break. All right, go on, man. And I might not see him for 30 minutes, an hour. There were a couple of times I didn't see him for an hour and a half or 2 hours because something was in play. Yeah. Yeah. Timing is everything. And if you miss that window, and these guys don't miss that window because they're on top of it, because they're controlling it, but they're on top of, and they probably have a different computer for every coin they're in, and they're watching the markets, and they're watching all the different exchanges, and they're on top of it. Somebody like me and you, I can only speak for me. I couldn't be on top. I can't. I get OCD. I get concentrated. I get focused. the way I go in my video, I get going. I don't get going at that level. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Pi, on the other hand, is not that coin. It's not any other crypto. Pi is not looking to do that. Pi is not built as a pump and dump. That's why because you have to also understand, Pi pretty much started from the ground. Yes, I've come to a little different understanding of where Pi started and where we're at. Okay. Because of what I was understanding from what I was hearing. From what I was taking, because it was coming from core, it was coming from moderators that were already here, it was coming from people that know the space and that were already here before I got here. As the people I was listening to. Why would I not believe what I'm hearing? Because what they're saying is making sense and is connecting the dots. Well, I did get into a major discussion with a close friend that has taught me a lot, and he's taught me a lot about space. And we did get into this discussion one night. And it was a knockdown, and this was a knockdown, drag out. Yeah. Debating with this or arguing or discussing anything that you had differing opinions with a gentleman was a long night. It was a long night. And I'm stubborn. But we got to a point that we agreed to disagree. Well, a year later, whatever it is, year and a half later, what he was saying was right. What he was saying was right. To a point. But I also think he was missing a part of. And I don't want to go into that because it's opening up something that right now doesn't need to be opened up. I think we were both right. So we came to a point where agreeing to disagree was cool. We were both right and we were both wrong in different areas. Okay. And that's what I've come to find out. the farther we've gone out from the beginning, the more it developed, more bigger. It's got, yes, more information has been revealed. But in the beginning, yeah, there was. It is what it was. So, like I say, you have. Oh shit! You have to take pi and I don't care whatever coin you're going to compare pi to. There is no comparison with where we're at. So you have to think. You have to keep things in context. So if you're going to compare pi to Bitcoin, or you're going to compare pi to Ethereum or Electroleum or any other, Dogecoin or whatever top of the coins are that you're into, and you're into, that's, and you know what's going on, okay, so whatever coin you're into, if you're going to compare pi to that, you have to keep it in context. And keeping it in context is by understanding where pi is. That's the biggest one. Understanding where pi is. Because pi, Bitcoin is what everything measures to. It is what it is. It's the first. Kudos. You've earned everything that you have that's going your way. I have never debated that argument, whatever. You have. I just have the issue of where you're at and where you should be. That's where I have the issue. So, if we're going to compare pi to Bitcoin, okay, people are comparing pi to Bitcoin now. Bitcoin's been out on the market 12 or 13 years. Pi has not even launched to the public. So you have to look at Bitcoin. Where was Bitcoin in 2008, 2007? If you're going to make a comparison between Bitcoin and pi, where was Bitcoin in 2007, 2008? That's the comparison that you need to make with pi. Yeah, sheds a whole different light on things. Because in 2007, 2008, Bitcoin was still in the closet. It was still in the shop. It was still behind closed doors. There were very few people that knew what was going on with Bitcoin because it wasn't public. It didn't become public until 2009. Well, when Pi started, you could probably go back to 2006. I don't know when Satoshi picked the project back up and did what he was doing. But it was wherever Satoshi got back involved. The foundation of Bitcoin was not Satoshi's idea. No. That came 10 years earlier. Research it. He picked up where these other two gentlemen left off because they couldn't figure out what it needed. Satoshi was able to figure out what it needed to get it to where it is, or to get it to launch to the public. Yeah. I know that. I do know. Anyway, whether you believe, I don't use shit. Research it for yourself. It's true. Two guys, about 10 years before Satoshi came in and picked it back up and started working on it, was already there. So a lot of the foundation was there, but they couldn't figure out the mechanism needed to get Bitcoin to do what it was doing. Satoshi figured out proof of work. Yes. So, that 2006, 2007, whatever, 2008, that's where Bitcoin was. It was still being developed, figured out what to do, what to make things, and nobody knew about Bitcoin until 2009, or very few, I should say, because there was a team involved to get it and work out the bugs and do whatever. Okay, it launched in 2009. Okay, yeah, now we may be at halfway through 2008 because we're getting ready to launch. Context. And it needs to happen with every coin that you're going to compare Pi to. If it's 5 years old, you got to go back 5 years. Where was it at when it launched? Where was it at before it launched? That's how you need to compare Pi. And it'll stand, definitely today it'll stand out where Pi is compared to these other projects. And they haven't followed any model that these other projects are going on. Should be the first indication that Pi is not going to do what they're saying it's going to do, because it's different. That's where I get upset. That's where I get attitude, because they won't take the time to put things in the right context. They're comparing today to today. when I got here in 2019, like I say, there was nothing. There was nothing. Okay, we had about 25 chat rooms. By the end of, I came in June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 6 months. 3 months after I got here. 3 months after I got here. We could shut the app down. Literally we could shut the servers down. How many of the servers were that Core had running at the time? We would overload them all and shut it down. We would shut the entire app down in 30 minutes when we all came into the room. Back then. Yeah. Where we are today is nowhere near where we were 2019. Guaranteed. So, when you start to make comparisons, look at these projects just maybe 6 months before they became public. Nobody knew about them before they came public, except for the ones working on the project. Well, we're not. And here's where another one, and I'm almost there now again. It's just the way I go, guys. We were supposed to be part of the development. We had a job to do as part of the development team. We've been invited early, which these other projects have not invited the public early. I don't know of any other project that has invited everyday people to the project to get in and help with that development. No, they don't want us there. They don't want. I don't care how good of a unless you have the credentials and the paperwork to support their need. If they don't, if their core team is full, and you don't have the credentials that meets their criteria, you're not going to get in, and you're not. And see, here's what I can go on with another tangent. You know, people that know crypto, know programming, know coins, know all that, are bitching and have bitched about Pi needs to be transparent, Pi needs to be open source, Pi needs to be, we need to get in and do, okay? No. Yeah? Man, because you don't understand where Pi is. Core Pi wasn't on GitHub. Pi wasn't, it doesn't need to be. Core doesn't need to be transparent. Core doesn't need to be open source. Pi doesn't need to be decentralized. Pi, none of it. At this point in the game, you don't need to get in and start screwing with shit. No. And, you know, I was just listening to somebody the other night. Well, we ought to demand that Pi be decentralized. No. I don't give a shit whether Pi is decentralized or not, because that's only a part of decentralization. Yeah, you guys are all wired on decentralized. None of these other coins out there are even close to being decentralized. They have a decentralized ledger. That's decentralized blockchain. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking. Okay. Most anything doing proof of work, there's a point of concentration, because anything doing proof of work at Bitcoin level is farms. There's farms doing the proof of work. That's centralized. No matter how you stack it up. China owns 65% of Bitcoin nodes. That's centralized. Don't piss them guys off, because they can shut them all down. If they decide to get pissy and shut them all down, there is no more Bitcoin. That's centralized. And it's been out 13 years, and everybody's saying Bitcoin is decentralized. 1 or 2% of the Bitcoin holders of Bitcoin wallet, 1 or 2% control over 95% of the coins that have been mined to this point. That's centralized. I don't give a shit how you talk about it. And they can influence the price on the market. And to come into Pi and say, we ought to demand decentralization, bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah. Bitcoin's running because the protocol is running. They can't drag anybody into court, and they can't shut it down. And if you have read the white paper, when Pi launches phase 3, it's running off the protocol and it can't be shut down. And by what Core has put in the white paper, Pi will be decentralized, open sourced, and transparent. that's when you bitch about being decentralized. If it doesn't happen, then yes, I'm on board with you. But right now, no, I'm not on board with you. It shouldn't be. It's their project, they're writing it, they're doing it. If they want our help, they'll ask. They wanted our help and we dropped the ball. Because everybody wants to get in and do what they're doing. And not do what we're supposed to be doing. Yes, I just got fired up because of the bullshit, man. We're getting too close, too late. And this isn't where I wanted to go in this video. But, man, you need to wake the fuck up. You need to be adults about it. Put on your big boy panties and man up, man. Man up. Get out of the way of who's writing it. Because it didn't. No, you wouldn't have gotten into Bitcoin in 2007, 2008. No, they wouldn't have let you in. Did you even know Bitcoin was happening? Did you know Bitcoin was being written in 2007, 2006, 2008? No, probably not. Not until whenever. Now I don't know when Satoshi opened it up to be able for the mini community or whatever. I'm sure there was a point that he opened it up to early miners, like Pizza Guy. Pizza Guy probably was in at that time. He was probably one of in that first group or whatever it was that was either testing or doing whatever it was. When you could still mine Bitcoin on a single PC, that's when he got in early. And there are a lot of them. The ones that were made overnight millionaires and billionaires, that's when they got in. Now, you may have got into that group, and it may have been to the point of, but all of the hard work, all the heavy lifting and all that stuff was done. All that was done before it opened up even to a small group. And all of that was done when it launched to the public. And like I say, I have my own opinion on that. That's what I'm saying. But Pi, for some reason, Pi is different. Pi is being held like it has been out on the market 12 years. Pi hasn't even learned how to. Pi's still in the womb, man. It's still an infant. It hasn't popped out yet. And you already got it through college already and doing something else. Pi is brand new, man. No matter what it looks like to us out here, Pi is not to the public. Pi is not launched to the public. That's right. Okay. And trying to force Pi into today's models. And no. We are just in testnet. We are probably, we got to be close to coming up to the end of testnet. If we're going to launch in December, we got to be coming up close to the end of testnet. And with what our job was, now in my opinion or whatever, I know I'm probably not getting any backup, would get any backup or whatever. It's the way I see Pi, what I've seen happen, and what I think should have happened. And it should have happened in March 14th of this year. Should have. But it's us that has moved this out. That's why I say Pi should not launch until Core is 100% sure that when Pi goes on the market, it'll make it. It has a chance to get a breath and make it. It may be a struggle to get where we shouldn't be struggling to get to. We should already be there. Because I'm going to shut it down as this. I'm sure Phase 3 launch, mainnet launch, is not going to launch how most people think. No, I don't. And that I believe mainnet launch, yes, it will still be centralized. And it should be. It should be. It should be. Core should not let anybody in and screw with anything until they're satisfied. Yeah. Because that's all you guys want to do is get in and screw with it. And if you change anything in Pi, as far as coin distribution or anything like that, when mining stops, when it goes and all that, you will kill Pi. You will kill it. Yeah. You will kill it. And I won't be part of that. I know. No. I already know. I've made up my mind. I know I have my markers. And if it happens at mainnet launch, and I may be off on how I'm thinking about mainnet launch, but there are markers that indicate whether Pi's going to make it or not. And if Pi goes that way, I'm out. I'm out. It isn't. It isn't that I'm going to give up my pie because I've earned the pie that I have. I'll take it and sit on it until it does what it does. If it dies, it dies. I don't give a shit. If I can make some money off the coin that I have, I will. But I'm not going to be a part of it because history's repeated itself. Anyway, that's so. I don't think Core's going to launch Pi the way most of it thinking about. They're going to give Pi a fighting chance to get onto the market and do its thing and survive. Because once the protocol takes over, Pi is no different than Bitcoin. Even though they know who the creators of Pi are. Once the protocol takes over, there's no way to shut it down. Pi is, I'm going to say 98% decentralized. 98%. Because the distribution of coin, the way the coin will be distributed every day, there can be no concentration of wealth from the coin itself. Now, because of Stellar and coin needs to be pre-minted because of Stellar protocol, yes, there will be a point of centralization on the overall mass of coin. And the amount of coin will be massive. Will be massive. Yeah, we just kind of, anyway, because I've been in that discussion. The amount, no matter what the amount of coin is, it will be massive. What did they start Stellar at? 200 billion or something? That the top guy in Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, but in Stellar, about a year ago or so, year and a half ago, it was a while back, sold off, he burned half of the total supply of Stellar so they could get a competitive price, and the dude from Ripple got pissed off because they did it. Yeah. I was learning crypto at the time, and I know, you can tell me that didn't happen, and it never happened, and never whatever. Okay. Yeah, okay, it didn't happen. So nothing was burned from Stellar because of the amount of coin that was pre-minted because of the protocol. Okay. All right, I'll take your word because you know Stellar and you know better than I do. That's okay. Okay. So, but you've already said Pi has to print it because of Stellar protocol. So there's going to be a massive amount of Pi that most likely Core will have control of. Core will have control of. So outside of that, as far as coins in circulation, there can be no concentration of wealth. Yes, there are whales, but the whales can't influence price or value. They're too small. I don't care. There are pioneers, whales, with millions of Pi. There are. But even with those millions of Pi, yes, it's a threat in other coins. It's not a threat in Pi. Pi is already too big. They are the 1 or 2%. They are the 1 or 2%. But the 98%, the overall 98% of the rest of us have more coin, have more Pi, even if people jump on board with the whales. The majority of us, it's like Musk or Gates or Buffett or any Bezos, any of those guys who trade on the exchanges and stuff today. They make billion-dollar trades, million-dollar trades, okay, they're not making little 401k trades. Just me $100, $200, whatever you're doing on 401k or whatever we're investing as whatever. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't millionaires that are investing in 500,000 or whatever it is. These guys are talking multi-millions and billion-dollar deals for companies. Okay, it influences that stock a little bit usually, but it doesn't. The overall market doesn't change the value of the dollar. Doesn't influence the value of the dollar. Yes. Yeah. So these guys are trading on the stock exchange every day, all the time. Different companies doing this, moving billions of dollars. Today, in today's market, it's probably trillions of dollars. But they're at least moving billions of dollars. The exchange is moving billions, but it's not affecting the value of the dollar. That's Pi, man. That's the other half of the equation in cryptocurrency. Pi's delivering the other half. So, no concentration of wealth as far as the coin is concerned. Yes, now I hear complaining about Core is going to choose supernodes. Well, damn right. Doesn't mean that it's centralized. It means that Core is choosing who the supernodes are. They didn't have people set up nodes for nothing. No, that's what keeps the supernodes honest. Is the rest of the community running regular nodes because they are part of the consensus. The supernodes do all the heavy lifting. They order the transactions, they list the transactions, they get the blocks ready, they do whatever, but then it goes to the rest of the community. And how the quorum slices are selected is how that operates. And I do that. I have researched enough of solar to know that. And there are like subgroups. You have your supernodes or whatever, and they're connected to two other ones, and then you have a subgroup that's connected to one over here and a couple over here. Okay, that's how the consensus works. So you get a fair, balanced consensus. And the consensus can tell when it's a bad actor. And if it's a bad actor, they kicked it out of the voting process. Yeah. So what's keeping the supernodes honest is the regular nodes. And do I think they all should be incentive? There should be an incentive to run a node? Yes, I do. But Core is choosing the supernodes. The supernodes will come from, some may come from outside, may come from big industry, like big industry like IBM and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm sure there are going to be pioneers that know programming, and they know Pi, and they know how nodes operate, and they can be trusted. They can be trusted not to do anything because they're already trusted. They're already in contact with Core. I know there's got to be mods. I know there's mods and mega mods or whatever that have supercomputers. They're not stupid, folks, because you don't give them no credit or whatever. The difference is they're on the in and you're not. That's the difference. You don't even know who they are. I mean, yeah, you know most of the mods, and you know most of the super mods, mega mods and all that. Okay. But I don't know whether you know what they're telling us, what they're capable of, but they've been here long enough to have earned that trust to be able to run a supernode. Yeah. I have no problem with Core choosing a supernode. I don't know how many supernodes there are, but I have no problem with Core doing it. From what I understand, Stellar, the creators of Stellar chose their supernodes, and their supernodes had to pay to become a supernode to keep them honest. I have no problem with Core choosing the supernodes because I believe in my heart if they're going to make the right choice on the supernodes. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about the supernodes. I don't have to worry about the supernodes screwing up. I know they're going to keep up with their supernodes. They're going to keep them up to date. They're going to keep them operating. Because I know the people that are probably going to be behind it, be running them. That doesn't bother me. When I'm hearing about, well, we're not going to be running, no, the more nodes we have in the system, the more honest that system becomes. Because if you're conforming a consensus on, what is it? I forget what the last count was. 10,000 or something, 17,000 nodes are up and running, or were up and running, or whatever at some point in time. I think it was double digit thousands waiting in the background. And people are getting frustrated because they're waiting in the background. So don't. I mean, there's no reason. You will be part of. Let it develop. Testnet blockchain is running, and I haven't really looked at it. I looked at it just to get familiar with the Pi browser, I think last night or the other night. Looks to me like things are running, blocks are in order, everything's going in, there's no fails and all that. Well, it tells me that testnet blockchain is getting close. Transactions are happening. It's going. That's our job. That was our job. That is part of our job. Well, when we're getting close, when things are running the way they're supposed to, and it's matching the faucet, okay? When they're matching their whatever, and all of that has to be in place to be able to go mainnet. I don't know whether we're, there's mistakes or things are happening or they're still working on whatever it is. Okay, it's none of my business. I'm not part of it. That's not my job. So that's happening. If that's happening, then I know we're getting close. And Core's made it out. I mean, what? Core will launch by the end of the year. They will launch by the end of the year. It's already been stated, and when it came out that Pi was going to launch by the end of this year, I was pushing for Pi Day next year. Man, I was adamant. And I get that. I was pushing. I was pushing to get community behind me. I wanted community, at least in that area. One, it would either start pulling people together or whatever it was, or would launch Pi on the day that Pi should launch. Maybe they'll launch Pi on New Year's Eve. That would be cool. Okay. Christmas, I hope they don't launch it on Christmas. I really don't, because that's a bad day to launch. Even though it's the big day of the year, and that's Christ's day. Leave it to Christ. Launch it on New Year's Eve. So, and I know I got off about Pi value and people see, but if you see all that, I mean, you can see it. You can see what's happening. You have to see and understand and put things in the right context. Seeing Pi at $1,000 per Pi isn't hard. Is it realistic? In today, just getting started? Probably not. Probably not. The world's not. Shit, the West isn't ready for it. The rest of the world I know isn't ready for it. But it can happen. They're proving it can happen. They're making it happen. It's not sponsored by Core. It's not sponsored by Core. It's people from the in-app transfer that are doing it, making it happen. They have the availability to transfer Pi. Oh, that's points I was looking to make. Okay. Starting at $1, $100 item costs you 100 Pi. $100 item at $100 a Pi costs you, it's either 0.1 or 0.01 Pi. You take Pi to 1,000, you keep moving over, so it's 0.0001 to buy Pi. Well, I'm sure the people that are in the in-app transfer pilot that have the availability to use Pi are running out of Pi because they haven't been able to get any more support or help from people that could be able to trade Pi with a big enough stack to help back some of these people. So they got to be running. They got to be running close. I'm sure it's got to be getting tight on them people. No matter where that, it's got to be getting tight on the people. And the ones that didn't step up and do their part. Sorry, guys. I don't want to ruffle feathers, get in with it, but you didn't step up and do what you're supposed to do. I'll leave it at that. So that's the same reason that one community started at 10. They were at 10 when the in-app transfer and these economies were getting started. There was a big divide, and the one community that started at $10 didn't take them long to realize it needed to go to 100. Probably one. I know their focus is on Pi and the community and everybody, because everybody has to be able to use Pi. And it didn't take them long to realize either at $10 wasn't going to be enough as Pi goes out to support that. And they were probably also looking at their stack at the same time, being backers, that they were going to run out of Pi before we launched. Yeah. Because if you look at the situation, it's going to be the same situation. People are only going to be getting a little bit of Pi. Millions of people, tens of millions of people, will only be getting less than 1 or 2 Pi a day. Well, even at $10, getting 1 or 2 Pi, they won't use Pi. They can't use Pi. They can't afford to use Pi. And if the exchange is at even $1, 1 or 2 Pi, they can't even trade on the exchange. Value has to be high enough. Value has to be high enough to be able to be used. Everybody needs to use Pi. Everybody has to want to use Pi. $10 is minimum, and that's short-lived. $10 is minimum. $100 is to me, is a good starting point. $1,000, I don't think will be hard to get to, but it won't take long to get to 1,000. Okay. Starting to get to that range, we need to look at because we can't get too far over, like most people want Pi to go to the moon. We can't get there. We can't get there because it won't be reachable. And one other thing, and I'm going to shut it down on this: Pi will not be as volatile as the crypto that's out on the market. Pi will be, and I don't want to classify it as a stable coin. Pi will be a stable currency without being backed by anything. It will be a stable currency by design. The way it's written, the way it's distributed, the reach that we have now, Pi will never moon. I mean, Pi will never reach the moon the way people think a moon should be reached. Pi, wherever we start Pi at, yes, there may be some volatility right in the very beginning until all the dust settles, and wherever that settles, whatever that value is, when that dust settles, will be Pi value. And it may be, it'll definitely be, it should definitely be different than the exchange. Should. Anybody looking to trade on the exchange, you're looking in the wrong spot. And anybody that isn't prepared, and I'm talking about anybody that doesn't have tens of thousands of Pi, you're not looking at exchange. You're definitely looking in the wrong spot. You're better off looking at buying power, what you can buy, and supplement your income with Pi, with what you have. That's where you need to go. Because once that dust settles, no matter where Pi value settles, the exchange is going to use their formula, their model, and there's going to be a price on the exchange. And most likely, starting out, it'll be different than the buying power that we have in the community. And there'll probably be a big gap. But wherever Pi value, buying power value, the dust settles, will be Pi's value. And for that value to change, it's going to take a lot. Pi is not going to spike high and low, and it's not going to be volatile. I mean, Bitcoin is started out like this, and it's finally, it's getting down narrower and narrower. But if those swings aren't happening in Bitcoin, they're not making money. So they make those swings happen. Pi can't be influenced. Pi can't be influenced. No, it would take core team using whatever was pre-minted to getting it into circulation to make any kind of change on Pi. And all core can do is lower the value of Pi. Why would they want to do that? Because now you're starting to talk supply and demand, but you're talking on a scale that nobody really fathoms, can even comprehend. Because if you did, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because the only thing Pi can do, or core can do with that biggest stack of Pi, well, they can burn it, which would be the biggest mistake anybody could ever make. And I don't see core making those kind of mistakes. Okay? Now, I don't know about Nicholas' thinking when he was talking about burning transaction fees, because that number is going to get huge on a daily basis. You burn that much Pi every day. That's what I'm on. Because now you've taken Pi from what it should be and turned it into what is out today. Anytime you start burning Pi for any reason, we start losing Pi for any reason, Pi is not looking to live up to what its goal is. It's looking to survive in the market, in my opinion. Okay, so the only way that they can influence is dump that coin into the market. It's dump it out on the market, and all it's going to do is drive the price of Pi down, value of Pi down. That, I know they're smarter than that. I believe they're smarter than that. So even though they're sitting on that stack of Pi, they're smart that they can't. I was worried about it. I was worried about it for a while in the beginning, whatever. Okay, you put it together. Okay, so they take that big stack of Pi and run. Okay, but they can't do anything with it. Yes, they could initially dump. Well, they couldn't dump it all because there isn't enough. There's probably isn't enough liquidity, and there's definitely not enough buyers to buy that much Pi. I don't care, big investors, whatever. The size of that pool, it would take a lot of them big investors to get in to even buy a portion of it. So it's not a big deal. And like I say, if that amount of coin, big investors aren't going to buy that much coin because they know that it's going to tank the value of it. And it would take a long time to get that value back. it's on a whole different level, man. So I'm not worried about that. And once Pi value, the dust settles, this all, and it is what it is. The market has, all we're looking at is putting Pi out at a starting value. Then the market will take over from there. The community will take over from there. It will naturally find a balance point. And once that point is reached, to make swings in Pi aren't going to happen. It will be stable. It will be usable as a daily currency. It will be, yeah. Pi is a stable currency used on a daily basis, and we're using it inside the community. And we build up some history, going to Target or Walmart or someplace and going, hey, I got a digital currency that can be used, trusted, stable. Let's do business. You will sell. That is a product that can be sold. That's a product that can be sold. I don't know of any other new coin coming out on the market that can do that. That's Pi. That's what I know. Anyway, man, I know I've gotten upset and I've talked longer than I wanted to talk. I just wanted to keep this one real short, real sweet on what I was seeing in response to what I did. That's what fueled that response. That's what, we're getting short, folks. We're getting short. It's time to wake up. It's time to see what's going on. And you can tell me that I'm not I'm unrealistic and I'm not in reality, that I'm out in some fantasy land somewhere. All right, I'll buy it. Okay. That's your opinion. Keep your opinion to your fucking self. That's the point I'm at. Again, and I didn't want to be here. I didn't. But I'll probably be an ass until we launch Pi. And when we launch Pi, you won't even, I'll just fade away. Because I've done what I can. And if it goes that way, I'll go find the next project that's going to come up that might be able to make that jump, that leap, do what it's supposed to do. That's where you'll find me. That is where you'll find me. You'll find me in the next project looking to do what Pi was trying to do. There will be another project coming up. I'm sure there's something coming up behind Pi right now. And to think something coming up behind Pi isn't going to be better than Pi, that would just be just plain stupid. But see, I know the project's coming up behind Pi. Pi is looking to set a standard, a model, create a model for the coins coming up that are going to be better than Pi. But Pi will be able to hold its own even with those coins coming up. It doesn't have to be threatened by any new technology coming out. Because Pi is like the computer, in the start-out computer generation. Okay? Pi is like a 486. When computers reached a clock speed of 486, it's as fast as the eye can see. Now, will it last? Well, we're talking apples and oranges. When Pi's at a position, it's as fast as the eye can see. Everything after this will be internal. The computers today, outside of download times and connect times and stuff like that, as far as operating the system and the computer doing what it's doing, back then when the 486 hit the market and you push the button and it instantaneously made something happen, that's as fast as the eye can see. The computer screen has not gotten any faster since the 486. Yes. Clock speed. We can only see so fast. It is what it is. And I know they're running. I mean, the clock speeds they're running now in the computer is back then was unfathomable. It was unfathomable to run that fast, for these computers to run that fast, to have that much processing power. Yeah. 486 now is a boat anchor. It ain't even worth recycling, because the chips and everything else are not compatible with what's out today. Now, getting the gold out is different, but you can't even recycle a 486 because it's incompatible with what's out today. But it's fast as the eye can see it. Everything else is coming up behind it. If they didn't get to this, the programs didn't get to the size it was and all this other kind of stuff, if it stayed, whatever, 486 will be, as fast as the eye can see. Pi is as fast as the eye can see. Anything coming up after it doesn't threaten pi. If my opinion, and anything else coming up after pi, behind pi, I welcome as many projects coming up after pi that come up. If we're doing the same thing, because projects coming up, if projects follow pi model, they will be in the same position pi is launching. They will have a community big enough, a reach big enough, coins distributed big enough to be a currency. Instead of dealing with countries, now we're going to be dealing with communities. That's a possibility. Because I'm sure people that are in Pi, these projects come out, are going to be involved in these projects and they're going to intertwine around the world. We will be intertangled around the world. Now this is my vision of where the future could be, where Pi could go. Yeah, and it's a lot bigger than anything that's happening today in crypto, because I could see industry in crypto in Pi. I could see industry in these other communities. I could see us trading with these other communities, becoming a new global economy built on crypto, built on a cash system. Yeah, we get to a point where we have too much of their coin in our deal, and they have too much of shit. We just make a straight swap and get things back even again. It's that part of it is simple, but it can happen because they should have industry, and we have industry. We're going to have a surplus of goods. They're going to have a surplus of goods. We'll trade our surplus of goods. So it can be a different world, run by different people, where everybody has the same standard of living. That's Pi. Now you can tell me I'm in a fantasy land or whatever, but I can see it being a reality if Pi plays out right. With that, I know I went way over, but I'm out, man. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy. Stay open-minded. Stay thinking. Keep things in context. Look at it the way it is. Look at things the way they are. I'm not trying to take anything away from Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. But they're not giving Pi a chance. Now, I don't know whether they're afraid of Pi. Pi's not in competition with anybody. Pi will be what Pi is whenever it enters the space. Pi's not looking to take anything away from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the gold. It's the first. It's the standard. Well, if you put that in context, in today's, how the world operates today, yes, gold is used at a business level. When these top executives of these companies are making millions and billions and whatever deals, and they're dealing in gold, the countries are dealing with each other in the transfer of gold. Yes, they're talking. They're past millions. They're talking multiple billions, probably close to trillions of dollars in transactions, trading gold. That's what gold is used for, because to make that kind of deal, it's easier to do it in gold. We'll make a $10 billion deal. Well, I'll transfer X amount of pounds of gold to you. Cool. And it doesn't even transfer. It stays in the same vault and it just does it on the books. That's what gold is used for. That's the business gold is used for. Bitcoin is gold. It'll be doing those big business transactions. That's where it gets, to me, that's where it would get its lifeblood. Playing at the Musk and Bezos and Buffett and all, playing at that level. Bitcoin is not an everyday coin. It's not an every person coin. It costs too much. Who can afford Bitcoin? Unless you're in Bitcoin and you made money off of Bitcoin, I can't afford Bitcoin. I don't have $60,000 laying around to go buy a coin, or $40,000, or $50,000, or $20,000, or $30,000 to go buy a coin, whatever price it is that day. I don't have that kind of money to go buy a Bitcoin, and I'm not chasing Satoshi. I don't care what if I want a coin, I want the whole coin. I don't want a piece of a coin. It's like, okay, I'm going to go to a job, and they're going to give me, let's just to keep it simple. I should be getting paid $1 an hour, or dollar. I should be getting paid $1 an hour, $1 a day, dollar whatever, and I'm going into work fighting for nickels and dimes. I'm trying to mine, and I'm trying to work for nickels and dimes when I should be getting $1. I mean, that's how I view it. For the cost, the time, the energy, and everything else, chasing bits up, even at the price what it is, because if it's 60,000, you're 1/10 of that 60,000. Okay. Now, if it tanks and drops $30,000, you went from whatever that tenth is. You just cut it in half. So if you're at 6 cents now, you got 3 cents. Anyway, I said I was going to be out, and I'm out. I am out, guys. Just think about it. Just keep an open mind. See what's going on. See what Pi is. Look at all of them. There are unofficial communities that have started. And I know, Core wants everything in-house. They always have. But the reality is, things are happening, and it's happening unofficial. And when Pi launches mainnet, there is no more unofficial. Those economies are up in trading. They're up in being used. Now, I know there's been a lot of bad-mouthing, bad blood, bad whatever, because they don't understand those either. And there are certain people in here trying to badmouth them, trying to hold Pi down because they don't understand Pi. They don't understand Pi, and they don't understand the economy. They can't fathom why China is at $1,000. People are calling it a scam. And I'm not going to say that there aren't scams out there. But if it's the economy that I know is up and running, it's not a scam. They're doing it. They're doing it. Because they have people from inside the in-app transfer that are backing those transactions. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's unofficial. Because it's unofficial doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay? There is an economy that's just trading Pi at $100 to Pi, and has been since it launched in November. The in-app transfer launched in November, December. All that shit happened March or April of 2021. Broke and it's been doing transactions. It started out at $10, and there's a list of transactions at $10, and you can see them if you're part of that community. They quickly went to $100 because they realized, and there is a long list of transactions at $100. And if you're part of that community, you can see them. They're transparent. They're there. They have everything that they have done from the start, from when they were born and started and whatever, goes all the way till present. Yes, but it's not open to the public. It's open to the community. Okay, but I probably stepped way out on a limb on this one. And if it gets sawed off, then screw it. It gets sawed off. But we need to wake up. People need to wake up and know what's going on. See what's going on. Once Pi goes live, those locations are open to trade Pi. There are already shops and people that are running these shops that I know the one economy. I trust them. I know half of them, most of them. At least I did one, okay? Because they're also built on trust systems. That store opens up to me. Because Pi is mine. Once Pi is mine, I can use it anywhere I want. And I'm not trying to say I'm behind Core. I'm behind the dApps. I'm behind the utility. And I will support that. But if I'm not getting the value, from the app that I can get from outside the app, I'm going outside the app. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna help support. I will help support and get that economy going, because that's what it needs. It needs the transactions. It needs the whatever to get going. But if the value isn't enough, I'm not going to waste all my Pi on low value. That is just flat damn stupid. I'm going to go where I get value. If I can get $100 value, if I can get $1,000, I will do my business in China. That's where I will go, because that's where the value is. That's free market. That's free enterprise. That's what will dictate what will happen to Pi in the future. And I'm sure there are other economies that have started up. But starting out, you better make sure, if you're going outside the app, you better be sure of who you're dealing with. Because there are a lot of scams, and there are a lot of sharks, and there are a lot of vultures that are trying to get Pi. They're already copycatting Pi. They're looking to get Pi because they know the value of Pi. They already value it, and they're not even part of the community, probably. And the ones that are in the community know the value of Pi, understand the value of Pi, and they're trying to get your profit. They're trying to take money out of your pocket. And if you choose, once Pi goes live, if you choose to give your money away, it's on you. There is no. Man, I've been telling people for 2.5 years. Be careful of what you're doing. And if you're looking to trade on the exchange, you're looking to give up your profit, your money. And once Pi goes live, I mean, I know at this point, I know where I can get value for my Pi. I can go buy what I want and need. Dealing with the shipping, I have no problem paying in fake currency for shipping. None. Because Pi has never promised me that it's going to be my do-all. No. It's going to supplement what I have going on. So, if I'm able to buy something for $1,000 per Pi, I have no problem kicking down on 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks on shipping. None. I'll pay in fake. For the value I'm getting, so it's a wash. And like I say, if any entrepreneurs that have access to trucking, international travel, international shipping, and whatever, you will become a Pi whale faster than you can think of. There is a problem. Whoever comes up with a solution to that problem will be at the top of the heap. All right, with that, I am out. Y'all have a good one. Just think about it. I mean, just think about it. Later.